come on. Hang on now. Can't we just settle this over a pint? No. All right, then. Come on!
Chilled now, and Ingrid serves it in the traditional manner, from a pitcher with a garland of greenery. Mmm.
These guys find the kind of relaxation and release they need in a cold glass of beer. For them, only beer does it.
Grandpa's telling tales of yore. Bruce Q talks about comics more. Norm's got jokes that we adore. Hawk's our mascot, hear it roar. 3BeerMen drinking in the streets, laughing like there's no tomorrow. Hawk's loud score praising the bars, filled with joy, never sorrow. Grandpa's got his old school tricks, Bruce Q's latest adventure and more. Norm with laughs that'll mix, Hawk circles watch him soar. Beer cans clinking, stories unfold. Nights like these are pure gold. These memories bold, never sold. In twilight's glow time behold. Everyone needs a night like this, full of stories can't be missed. Simple joys, pure bliss. In each sip, there's a twist. Men drinking in the streams, laughing like there's no tomorrow. Hot clouds spark raising the bars, filled with joy, never sorrow. 3BeerMen drinking in the streams, laughing like there's no tomorrow. Hot clouds spark raising the bars, filled with joy, never sorrow. Grandpa's got his old school tricks, Bruce Q's latest adventure and more. Norm with laughs that'll mix, hot circles watch him soar. Beer cans clinking, stories unfold. Nights like these are pure gold. These memories bold, never sold. In twilight's glow time behold. Everyone needs a night like this, full of stories can't be missed. Simple joys, pure bliss. In each sip, there's a twist. In each sip, there's a twist.
Hello and welcome to 3BeerMen. For those of you surprised to see me, I'm not the Norm that died. It was another Norm that died. So, just to let you know. Bruce is going to be a little late tonight, but in the meantime, we do have Cosmic Grandpa and Hawk. And Hawk was able to work out his technical difficulties. So why don't you say hi, Hawk, and tell us what you're drinking.
Well, Squawk, I am drinking, guess what? Jack and Coke. But not just any Coke, cherry Coke.
Oh. Throw a cherry in the mix. So.
Yeah, it seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah.
I just saw a documentary on YouTube. I didn't watch it on why cherry Coke is so addictive or so popular. That's interesting. I will have to watch it and see.
Yeah, well, once you go cherry, you never go back.
Yeah, maybe we could do a show about it. All right. Well, what are you drinking, Kaz?
All right. Well, since this is the last show in May, I figured this was my last opportunity to have a Maibach in the month that it was intended for. Unfortunately, the only Maibach that I could find is from Hofbrauhaus. So this is Hofbrau's Maibach. Hofbrau, of course, is a German import. So it is better than most American beer. But in Germany, Hofbrau is really kind of a second tier beer, ranked considerably lower than Augustiner or Hackerschor or Paulaner or Spaten, which are all tier 1 beers. Hofbrau is kind of down there with Lowenbrau, which again is still better than anything brewed by any big commercial U.S. brewery, but it's not really considered top tier in Germany. But it is a Maibock.
It's kind of like their like Budweiser, Coors, or Miller, right? Or
that's what I was going to equate it to, except it's not quite that lowbrow, but it's middle tier. It's not top tier. And I have the Malt Minute video queued up to explain to everybody what a Maibock beer is, who might not have seen that before. But I don't want to keep you from drinking your beer, so how about we play the Maibock intro after we talk to the after we get your beer and talk to the audience.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, I kind of hinted at what I was going to have last week. This one's, I have paperback beers quite a bit on the show, and one of their flagship beers is called Bunny with a Chainsaw. This is Baby Bunny with a Chainsaw. Bunny with a Chainsaw is their West Coast IPA. This is a double dried hopped hazy India Pale Ale, 6.5% alcohol per volume. And as you can see, they have their world-known artwork on the cover of a baby bunny with a chainsaw. So,
well, that's appropriate considering that you just read off just about every buzzword there is. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you say? Hazy. What's da 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 da? It was like every buzzword that I could think of for a modern IPA.
Yeah. Double dry hop hazy India Pale Ale.
Yeah. Buzzwords for the chainsaw.
Yeah. And I'm going to have it in a tulip glass because this is actually the type of glass that they served it in at the brewery when I went there last weekend. So, as you can see, it is quite hazy. So this is going to be interesting because it's a dry hop and hazy. It's usually the hazy beers are a little bit more smoother. This one has like a little bitter sweetness to it at the finish, so it's actually quite good. So, so it's an interesting taste for a hazy actually, because it's smooth, but it has this like kind of a unique bitter sweet finish. So that's interesting. So.
Yeah, very. I'm drinking my Hofbrau and my Maibock in the correct period glass as well. This is an Oktoberfest Stein, and as we've discussed before, Maibock is a fest beer, not necessarily associated with Oktoberfest, but it is a party beer. And for those of you who may not have seen it before, I will let my former brewer, Andy, explain to everybody in 1 minute what a Maibock is.
The Malt Minute. Quick answers to your questions about beer. Brought to you by the Penn Brewery. What is a Maibock beer?
Maibock is part of the lager family, more specifically a Bock beer, which is a German-style lager and is made for drinking in the spring, in May. So that's where it gets its name, Maibock.
What makes a Maibock different from other Bock beers?
The flavor makes it different. You can really taste the difference. You can taste the hops, but I really wouldn't call it a hoppy beer by any means. As far as IBUs, it's probably around the 23 to 35 range. It also has a medium body to it and a fair amount of carbonation, which makes it a good drink. but the ABV, alcohol by volume, it comes in around 7%, so be careful. It's a smooth tasting beer that can really sneak up on you.
What's one thing about Maibach most people don't know?
The first Bock beers were brewed way back in the 14th century in a town called Einbeck. When the beer began to be brewed in Munich, their accent made it sound like Einbach, and that's when people started to call it a Bock beer. Then you can take that one step further. Einbach, translated in German, is billy goat, and that's why you see some goats on Bock beer labels. And it might, just might be, why some of those brewers grow those great beards.
This Malt Minute was brought to you by the Penn Brewery. Be sure to check back on May 25th for the next installment of the Malt Minute at maltminute.com.
Yeah, and the irony is that video is 10 years old this week because it said at the end, tune in on May 25th for the next Malt Minute. And that's today. And that was made 10 years ago. And unfortunately, Brewer Andy, who did that interview, is no longer with us anymore. He passed a few years back.
Wow, that's
Was his name Norm too?
No, that was Andy. Andy Rich, our award-winning brewer, and unfortunately, the brain cancer caught up to him and took him too soon.
well, we get to see him every May now because I think we played that video every May since we've been on it.
I think we do. I wouldn't let a May go by, especially now. You know, it's kind of a tribute. I was looking to see if Penn Brewery had any of its Maibach. We traditionally make a Maibach in the spring called Pendemonium, but if they made it this year, it sold out before I could find it. So the best I can do is that I have my my extra Maibach in my Penn Brewery koozie. So it at least gets a little hint of the Penn Brewery there. I really like these little bottle koozies too. They work really well. I also have one that says "Drink Local." So.
Very cool.
So that's our Maibach, indeed.
I was kind of hoping the chat would fill up. It must be there must be something else going on today because all the chats look kind of quiet, with the exception of D-Live, of course. But
yeah, even D-Live is about 10 viewers lighter than usual. Pilled is we've got a few people watching, but not saying too much. And we just started to get some chatter over in the madness. So should we start there?
Sure. Well, on their YouTube. So we got Madness Entertainment Group, Howdy Pops. We got Deepak, Shakir, in the and wait, Acres of Movies. I think that's it.
Yes, indeed. Acres of Movies, another fan from over there. And yeah, Deepak said Andy, good dude. Yeah, she knew Andy as well. She worked at the brewery when Andy was there, and yeah, he was a great guy. Taken from us too soon, unfortunately. Like Norm from Cheers, in fact. When we get to talking about him, he was only 76 years old. Wow. But before we do that, we should finish up the chats. We don't have anybody yet over in the Rumble or the Odyssey. I did have a note here to say hi to Pendark Ghost in Rumble. If you're out there lurking, say hello. I just thought that was kind of a unique name, Pendark Ghost, considering that I used to brew Pendark. That was one of the beers we made. So ran into him over in the madness. All right, well, over to the D Live then, where, like I said, it is a little on the quiet side tonight, but TL Spud was in first, followed by Willie Fixit with some lemon action there for us. Thank you, Willie. We appreciate that. Bad Zoot, Peggy Dancer, and Val Kimber have all said hello to us over there. Dropped a few lemons for us, Val and Zoot. We appreciate it. Get them all back at the end of the show anyway. So,
Yeah. Yep. And over in the pill.net, aka the Foxhole, we got Willie Fixit was the first one. And we got Madness Comic Network over there as well. We got Ghost Pepper, good to see you. And Del Bar, or D-Bar. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But Stacks, XXXXX, and I almost forgot Spaz Oh Yeti, our good friend that's there every week. And we just had Dog Nuts 10. Howdy.
indeed. Welcome aboard. I would not have let you forget Spaz.
Yeah, I know. I talk all the time.
I've been popping into some of his late night shows. They're a lot of fun to hang out in, especially when I had one or two too many Tito's.
Yeah. until he falls asleep. Even after he falls asleep, it's kind of yes. A few times he fell asleep with me on his show, so I commentate his sleeping. So happened more than once.
And of course, tonight, that's everybody who said hello. And I am wearing my my Cheers shirt tonight, of course, in commemoration of this week's sad passing of George Wendt, the actor who played Norm on the show. And of course, we use his memory every week.
I happen to have the same name, and my name was not cool until Cheers came out. I was like 14 when that show came out.
And now it's not cool anymore.
Well, that's funny you say that, because Cheers was very much an inspiration for me as well. Believe it or not, I was also too young to drink where I lived when it first started in 1982. Although by 1982, I was married, and it was not above driving 45 minutes down to the Maryland border where I could pick up a couple cases of Black Label or something cheap, throw it in the trunk, and bring it back. But I still remember distinctly, to this day, I will never forget it. It was sometime in the very early 90s, probably 1990 itself, sitting in a local bar called the Gingerbread Man, and telling the bartender that I was going to quit my computer job and run a bar someday. That was my goal. I wanted to. I would much rather run one of the bars that I went to every day after work than do what I did every day for work. And he pretty much kind of laughed and said, "Yeah, good luck with that." But and ironically, it would be a little over 20 years later that I would sell my computer company and buy a brewery and a brew pub, which took me another 15 years to get back out of in one piece. But that's that's a lesson to anybody who might want to get into the restaurant or the brew pub business. Remember, the rule of thumb is that the easiest way to end up with $1 million in the restaurant business is to start with 2 million and quit while you're ahead. So, anyway.
Yeah, they say most restaurants do not make it for the first 5 years.
That's correct.
That's just mind-boggling. And yet so many people, that's kind of like their, that's a I would say a fairly common American dream. They want to have like either an inn or a restaurant or something like that, bar.
You go, you have a good time, you kind of associate, the bar with stress relief and a good time, and so you think that's what you would want to do, but it's a whole different animal when you're behind the bar. I think that's what the bartender was trying to tell me.
Yeah, when you're
Yeah, good
actually,
luck.
yeah, when you're working it and it's a business and you total different aspect. It's not like, you get to sit there and sit at the bar and drink all day and give away free drinks all day. You aren't going to be in business very long if you do it that way.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot less fun when you got to be responsible for it.
Yeah. And I remember going into the bar and everybody trying to, and they're so excited that there's actually somebody there named Norm that they all try to do that Norm thing when I walk in, but it never worked. Never worked out like that. They always like Norm, 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 Norm here.
You never tried working at one, did you, Norm?
Yeah, bar.
Yeah,
Nope. No.
thank God.
The closest
World
thing,
War III would have broken out by now if you had.
closest thing I worked at a pizza place in high school that had that sold beer and wine. That was basically the closest place I worked at that even served.
I remember when pizza places used to do that. Even Pizza Hut and Godfather's, most of the regular places did sell at least pitchers of beer.
Yeah, yeah. We used to go to like Pizza Hut, or no, it wasn't Pizza Hut. It was Shakey's, and
Boy, there's a blast from the past.
yeah,
Shakey's.
yeah. Get pitchers of beer, and then yeah, get more mugs for if because like between 19 and 21, we couldn't really go to bars, so we went to pizza places and just snuck beer from the pitchers. So, so that's yeah, that was black. Yeah, Shakey's was one of them.
That's a place I remember barely,
Yeah,
barely. Back to you, Cos.
yeah,
Yeah, I was just doing a little bit of research out here because over in the YouTube chat, Acres of Movies asked if any of us have ever tried Elysian IPA Full Contact.
you
So I
asked
was
about
just
that last week, Acres, and I told you what I thought.
oh,
I didn't want to say it this week, but I told you what I thought of it, and I won't say it. But
all right. So I was just looking up to see. I had Elysian most recently. I had Space Dust IPA, and
yeah, the space.
yeah. You had Full Contact on April 3rd, 2022. So. Acres, if you want to go back and watch the April 3rd, 2022 show, you can see exactly what Norm thought of it. And if you want to know how I know that, I went to 3beermen.tv and I typed Elysian in the search box. And that's all I had to do. And it came up with all the episodes that we've ever had Elysian on. So.
And the look who owned Elysian. By the way, Acres. I think I told you this last week because they kind of fooled me.
Now I remember that coming up. Yeah, until you mentioned.
Yeah, they kind of fooled me, and then I looked up who owned them. So that's but we can. But thanks for asking, and that way we get to throw out 3beermen.tv and.
Yeah, yeah, and Acres, that's all right. We appreciate the question. We really do. It it allows us to educate the audience, and that's what we're all about here. We like to provide a little bit of education thrown in, with a little bit of fun and a little whatever else happens to come up. So yeah, this is the point where we usually get into the segment that we call This Week in Beer. And of course, the big news this week and the one that brought us to this this clickbait title of tonight's show was the passing of George Wendt, Norm from Cheers. I'm not sure if a lot of people realize this. He passed on May the 20th this week, and it just so happens that the last episode of Cheers was aired on May the 20th.
Wow.
1993, 32 years to the day before he passed. And of course, that show was the second most watched episode of television in history. The only episode of television that ever, final episode, I should say, of television ever, the only final episode that exceeded that was MASH. Of course, the last episode of MASH will probably never be exceeded in terms of viewership, especially since nobody watches TV anymore. But
Yeah, everybody streams it now.
yeah.
So
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, there was one particular Norm scene that I thought was particularly funny that I'm going to go ahead here and play. It was one of the Norm shout-out scenes. You may or may not remember this one when you see it, but let me play it here.
Hey, Lilith.
Query. If I had a problem and needed to talk to someone about it, would it be perpetuating a stereotype to actually select a bartender?
Well, that depends.
On what?
On what you just said.
I feel like a failure. A failure as a mother, ergo as a woman and a person. Do you make a drink for failures here at Cheers?
Hold on a second. Phil, what are you drinking?
A Manhattan.
Manhattan. You know, sweetheart, I'll bet my bottom dollar that you're a pretty good mom.
Yes, well, considering that endorsement comes from a perennial Peter Pan with no sense of maturity or obligation, you'll excuse me if I don't leap over the bar, embrace you, and say, "Really, Sam, you think so?"
Well, glad I could be there for you.
I'm sorry. Perhaps I'm just bitter because Fraser is succeeding with our son where I failed. He is indeed a better influence on my precious baby.
Hey, guess what, everybody? Little Frederick beat Cliff at darts.
Fraser! What are you doing here? I didn't give my son to you so you could run off and spend the day in a bawdy house.
Yes, well, my little chopped salad. I mean, we just got here, 10 minutes ago?
You're lying.
Well, yes, I'm lying, but I thought that Frederick might enjoy himself.
Enjoy himself in a bar? He's 11 months old. What kind of values can he learn here?
Well, I thought the place had a lot to offer.
Oh, please. He'll never learn to speak in this environment.
Afternoon, everybody.
He said, "Mommy."
That was a classic.
I almost forgot about that one. That's, so that,
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness.
Do you remember all of Norm's sayings when they said, "What's going on, Mr. Peterson?" And he used to always have a different thing to say. Have you ever seen those?
Well, Bruce actually wanted me to run what he was calling our 21 Norm salute.
Yeah.
So I actually did line up the first 21 Norm entrances and responses. If you wanted, if you want me to play those, I can do that.
Oh well,
It's short.
Yeah.
It's the 3 minutes to go through all of them.
All right. Well, maybe Bruce has already seen it.
Yeah.
It's easy to
Yeah.
send it to. So.
All right. So let me. Well, and he can always catch it on the replay too. So yeah, first 20.
Afternoon, everybody.
How you doing, Norm? What do you know?
Not enough. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
You know? I heard of that stuff. Better give me a tall one in case I like it. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
How you doing, Norm? Cut the small talk and give me a beer. Afternoon, everybody. Hey, Norm! Give me a beer with you.
How's life treating you, Norm?
I got just ran over its dog. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
Gentlemen, start your taps. Afternoon, everybody.
How's life treating you, Norm?
He caught me in bed with his wife. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
How's life, Norm?
Not for the squeamish, Coach. Afternoon, everybody.
How's it going, Norm?
Daddy's rich and Mama good looking. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
What's up, Norm? My nipples. It's freezing out there. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
What's the story, Norm?
Thirsty guy walks into a bar. You finish it. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
What you up to, Norm? My ears. Evening, everybody.
Norman?
What's new, Norm? Most of my wife. Evening, everybody.
Norman?
Beer, Norm?
Nah, I probably just drink it. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
What's doing, Norm?
Well, science is seeking a cure for thirst. I happen to be the guinea pig. Evening, everybody.
Beer, Norm?
That's that sudsy amber stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing good things about it. Afternoon, everybody.
What can I do for you, Norm?
Well, I am gonna need something to kill time before my second beer. How about a first one?
You got it.
Howdy, sports fans.
What'll it be, Norm?
Fame, fortune, fast women.
Yeah? How about a beer?
Even better. Afternoon, everybody.
How you doing, Norm?
Coach, I'm on top of the world, which is a dismal spot in Greenland somewhere. Evening, everybody.
Norman?
Would you like a beer, Norm?
I'd like to see something in a size 54, Sudsy. Afternoon, everybody. I've only seen the last of you. Afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
How's life, Norm?
Ask the man who's got one.
All right. That was the first 21 Norm entrances and all of his quippy responses.
I used to know quite a few of those. Like, how's the world treating you, Norm? Like a baby treats its diaper. Oh, it's like one of my favorites. And it's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and I have milk-bone underwear. That's...
Yeah, I didn't. That wasn't a highlight clip. That was just the first 21 in order.
That was
Bruce
actually
is
pretty
asking
good.
me to send him the link information. He's got to use a different machine, so I'm fumbling here for just a second. Will I figure out how to do that?
Acres of Movies wants to know, have we seen Taking Care of Business? Like, was that the one with Tom Cruise? About being a
Yeah,
bartender?
that was Risky Business.
Okay. Oh, well, there was a Risky Business, but I don't remember. All right. There's all those business movies.
All right, there I got Bruce a link, so he should be able to come in and join the show here. So yeah, that was our little retrospective there to George Wendt, to Norm, cheers. There were some other bits of trivia that I wrote down. I visited at one point in time, early in my career, the original Bull and Finch pub, Bull and Finch Club, I'm sorry, the pub in New York that is, or I'm sorry, the pub in Boston that was the inspiration for Cheers. I'm trying to do too many things here at one time. I've got two hawks.
I've been to the stage where Cheers was filmed, but when I was at it, it was Frasier was being filmed at that stage. Stage 20.
Yeah, that's right. There was the spin-off show or shows. I don't know how many things spun off of that. Did Shelley Long spin something off of that, or
There might have been one other spinoff that didn't make it. But the interesting thing about the Cheers was such it ran so long, and there's stages at the studio that are lucky and unlucky. They consider them. So everybody wanted that stage after because it was considered a lucky stage. And Dear John was filming on it when Frasier came out, and so for the second season of Dear John, they put Frasier on stage 25. For the second season of Dear John, they moved it to an unlucky stage, where no sitcom on that stage had I think it was 30 or 31, and no sitcom had lasted more than 2 seasons, because it was considered an unlucky stage since Sanford and Son, because that's allegedly where he had his heart attack and died. So it was considered an unlucky stage, and all the sitcoms filmed on that stage were unlucky. So they moved Dear John over there for the second season, thinking they'll break the curse. But of course, I think it did run 2 seasons, but making it only 3 seasons. So
yeah,
interesting.
Well, Cheers.
Yeah.
Good. I'm sorry, finish.
No, interesting. What do you call it? Superstition over there at the studios with the stages. But what were you gonna say?
Well, I was just going to say, Cheers itself was almost canceled in the first season.
Yeah.
Season 1 of Cheers came in 74th out of 77 shows in the Nielsen's. I mean, it was the bottom of the list. It was, if it had been 3 shows worse, it wouldn't have been in the top. It wouldn't have been on the list at all.
Yeah, it was running against Simon and Simon. I think was on the top, which was CBS. Cheers was on NBC at the time. Yeah,
Now, did Cheers shoot up in popularity when Kirstie Alley joined? I'd imagine it did.
I'm not sure, because Woody Harrelson and Kirstie Alley joined later in the show. So I know the ones with Woody Harrelson were more popular. It started gaining popularity then, but I'm not sure about Kirstie Alley. But
well, it was said when I did this shirt, it was I was able to just sit there and say, oh yeah, that's Ted Danson and Shelley Long and George Wendt and Rhea Perlman and and that guy who played Coach.
Yeah.
It's like I never knew the guy who played Coach his name. I mean, it's Nicholas Colasanto, but that's only because I looked it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that one either.
And technically, this shirt is a little bit incorrect in that John Ratzenberger joined later in the show as Cliff Clavin. He was not in the original shows. So
yeah, he was hilarious though because he was so full of shit.
Yeah, his pronouncements were always hilarious. And there's Bruce.
Bruce.
You're muted, Bruce.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
All right. I grabbed the wrong bag today. I was a knucklehead. I was trying to get out of the house. I couldn't get out of the house. Then I had a problem at the office. I got stuck late at the office. I was supposed to leave for Connecticut from Long Island back at 10 o'clock this morning, but I didn't leave till almost like 2 o'clock in the afternoon by the time I was done. I didn't get here till 4:30, quarter to 5. And then we ran out to eat. So sorry I'm late, everybody. Hi, welcome to the show. Coach was classic. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So I guess we're still talking about the unannounced death of Norm. We still getting into that?
We kind of are just about wrapped up, but if you had anything you wanted to add, we played video. We did the 21 Norm salute. You'll have to go back and catch that on the replay.
I will catch that on the replay. It was one of my favorite shows when I was it ran from what? It ran from 87 to
82 until 93.
82 till almost 12 years.
11 seasons.
11 years. 11 seasons. Wow. I remember in college and then after college and then, 82 sounds about right. That's when I graduated high school. It's crazy to think that the show went on that long and that there's over 80 episodes?
There are typically like 24 per season.
Was it that many?
I think that's typically back then.
So 10 years, that would have been over 200 plus episodes.
275.
200, wow, I was way off.
275 over 11 seasons.
11 seasons. Man. Yeah, no.
And as I was just saying before you came in, Bruce, and it was almost canceled in its first season because in its first season, it came in 74th out of 77 on the Nielsen's. It was that low ratings wise. Nobody watched it the first season.
Oh, wow. So it was
almost canceled. And then it just came back like Norm was telling the story about Lucky Stages and so forth. So
Well, what I was going to say is I started watching Cheers by default only because it came on right before Benny Hill. And I was, but I ended up liking Cheers. So.
Yeah, they had a cast of characters, and how many spin-offs did they have from that?
The only one I can think of is Frasier. I know they had at least one more that didn't really last.
That didn't go anywhere.
But Frasier did last quite a while.
Yeah, Frasier went on for about 7 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, I was working at Paramount when Frasier was filmed there.
Yeah.
So that was like back in 95.
There you go.
Worked there until 2000.
I got to ask, did anybody see if Zoso Dude was in the chat? Are you out there, Zoso? Hit us up in the pill chat if you are. Because I got something special coming up later on in the show for you that I think you'll appreciate. But
all right, well, we'll hold Bruce on the loose then until we see Zoso Dude, or until we get into the second half of the show, whichever. But
yeah, that's fine. So where do you want to go from here?
Haven't not seen Zoso Dude, but Judy the Lady Pug, thank you for that cookie.
Hi, Judy. How you doing? Back in New York.
We appreciate that very much. So yeah, Frasier appears to be the main spinoff. There were some guest appearances, some crossovers, but looking it up, there's a whole big long paragraph here in Wikipedia that I think is basically dedicated to saying without saying that there really weren't a lot of other spinoffs. But then there's something called the Tortellis. Nick Tortelli, but that only lasted 13 episodes because apparently it was kind of stereotypical towards Italians.
That's not even a whole season. Like that's a half a season.
Yeah,
basically.
that's half a. That's yeah. Back in those days, exactly. But there were crossover characters. Characters from Cheers showed up in Saint Elsewhere. Wings, The Simpsons, Scrubs, and of course Ted Danson showed up in the film Ted.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
But Wings was kind of that same. I think it was the same company, the same production company that did Cheers. So it wasn't really a spinoff, but it was like the same universe.
Well, no, I said those are crossovers. Those were just cases where actors from characters from the Cheers show appeared in character in other shows.
Yeah,
as their Cheers
Wings,
character.
was done by the same production company, which is Grub
Yeah,
Street,
Judy, I
believe, or
agree.
something
I
like that.
enjoyed Wings too. I liked Frasier as well. Bad Zoot says Frasier was great. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, Frasier was a great show. It lasted a long time.
And I
Didn't they
think
try to
Acres of
spin off
Movies.
his brother?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bruce.
I'm sorry. I said, didn't they try to spin off his brother? Didn't they try to do a show just about his brother?
Niles?
Niles, yeah.
Niles?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they did an Al show or not.
There was
it's
talk
called
of
The Simpsons.
Yeah, for sure. Too funny.
Yeah. So,
And I remember this one where there was actually when Saturday Night Live was still funny. Anybody still old enough to remember that? Special guest, I want to say it was Kirstie Alley, and all of the, or at least most of the supporting cast showed up on Saturday Night Live, and they got them one at a time out of the audience. Anybody remember seeing that?
That would be cool. I wish I had seen that one, although I probably wasn't watching it by then. When you talk about Saturday Night Live being funny, that ended for me in 1979. I know a lot of people are fans of the second set of city the players, but I was not ready for primetime players round two.
Well, I mean, what you're talking about is a classic era. I mean, Belushi and Chevy Chase and Steve Martin. I mean, that was still unparalleled, but they still were funny after that. I gotta say, but they haven't been funny in a long time. Now,
I like the Adam Sandler and the Eddie Murphy years.
Yep. Chris
not
Rock
all of
too.
them. Not all. They
Dana
weren't
Carvey,
always all funny.
David Spade.
Right. Yep. Chris Farley.
Yep. Farley was hilarious. But it was a slow death, after they let off all these, really good replacements. They just, it's been a decade since I've laughed.
Yeah, Judy the Lady Pug caught me confusing Second City with Not Ready for Primetime Players because so many of the original Not Ready for Primetime Players came over from Second City.
Second City, right.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, so that was a little bit of pop culture. Also, if we're done talking about Cheers, there's another little bit of pop culture trivia associated with today. We celebrated Star Wars Day back on May the 4th because that's the pun day. But if there ever was a real Star Wars Day, it would be today, May the 25th, because today marks the 48th anniversary of the release of the original Star Wars on May 25th, 1977.
Yep.
Wow. A long time ago.
I remember going to a Saturday matinee. I went to a Saturday matinee showing of it after it had already opened, but I stood online with my mother and my cousins for like 2 hours to get into the theater because we went early so we could get online to get tickets. Because back then they didn't have, you could go online and buy tickets. You actually had to go to the theater early and buy tickets.
Yeah, get in line and
that's right. We waited there for 2 hours.
And if it sold out, you were out of luck. So
yeah,
there was a story about on the local news where a couple got married in line.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I was 13 years old in '77.
Yeah, so was I, obviously,
Yep,
and
yep.
yeah, I didn't. I was not a news watcher at the time, and not really a TV guy. The TV I watched was late night stuff, so I didn't really. I didn't see commercials, and I'm not sure how big the advertising for it was. So I didn't actually hear about Star Wars until that July, when band practice started back up again, junior high school band practice, and a good buddy of mine who we were science geeks together. We geeked out on science stuff. Said, "Man, have you seen the Star Wars movie? This is really." And he starts describing it to me, and he tells me about ships flying down these, and it's like, wow, I'm totally blown away. So I saw it in July of 1977 for the first time, and I saw it again. I managed to scrape up enough money because my parents made me pay for that kind of stuff. I was a responsible kid, and I was in the marching band, and I was in a summer German marching band. So I earned money whenever we did parades. So I was expected to earn my own money to pay for these kind of things.
That's funny.
And so I saw it in July, and then I went back and I saw it again in August, as soon as I could scrape up enough money to see it again. And then school started in September, and that was when I had my first junior high school crush. So I took her on our first date to see Star Wars, for me, the third time.
Gotcha.
And believe it or not, this was 1977. I still, to this day, talk to her about Star Wars. She's, I still know her, and we still talk about Star Wars.
That's wild. That's
Yeah.
great.
And then the fourth time we went again together, the two, her and I. But I won't get into that story. It's not safe. For, let's just say we learned other things you do in theaters.
Ouch. Yeah, I think Alanis Morissette sung about those.
Yeah, something like that. So, but yeah, so four times on my own money at age 13, and I was really, really proud of that.
That's great.
I remember my first time I was like 7 years old, because it came out when I was just turned 7, and it wasn't in May, but it's probably June or July. My father got all his kids. There was except for my youngest brothers, so there was only 5 of us. But packed us all in the station wagon. We went to the drive-in theater. So, and we got,
That's why I could only imagine watching it on a drive-in movie theater. You know,
my
there's a
dad
200-foot screen.
backed the station wagon into the spot,
Right.
and there was 3 of us up on top of the station wagon watching it on our stomachs like this, and then we had the speakers on the side here, and then I think my sister was, and my youngest brother was in the back of the station wagon with the window down, and then my dad was on a lawn chair next to it. So we what's it that way?
Did the station wagon tailgate drop down, or did it open
Yeah.
up? It dropped down.
down.
So you could sit on the edge of the tailgate and watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we were on top. Me and 2 of my brothers were on top of the station back. My older brother, and then the one the next youngest than me, were on top.
Yeah.
We had like a blanket or something.
My dad used to have an egg crate mat and a big, thick blanket, comforter blanket, and he'd throw that on top of the roof. And then my sister and I would sit up on top of that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my brother, my youngest brother, not my youngest one, because he was a baby and he was still at home with my mom.
Sure.
And then my sister were sitting on the tailgate. My dad was in a lawn chair watching. So, the drive-in theaters, that's something we don't really have anymore, except for some novelty pop-up theaters. So.
That's yeah. You know, I also remember one other thing about the drive-in theaters was the flea markets on Saturdays and Sunday afternoons. They would have flea markets in the parking lots, in the
Well, yeah,
drive
in the lot.
in the
Yeah,
lots.
we still have flea markets in the abandoned drive-in theater lots
Really?
where I am here.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, they
The
would set up
theater,
the
the
tables.
screens are gone. There's still a few poles sticking up from here and there out in the middle of the field where the old speaker
Wow.
poles used to be.
Right, right, right.
But yeah, but people come every with their trailers and their tents and their pickup trucks and
Yep.
set up their booths and
Yep.
yeah, big flea markets. We have real big ones here.
Actually, you talk about those speaker poles. I actually know somebody who took one of the old speakers off of the speaker pole and he turned it into an actual speaker that he kept in his house. Now, of course, back then they were just cheesy as hell. It was a lot of reverb because it was a tin box
Oh
with a
yeah, they were
front.
never the greatest quality. I mean,
Never. Sometimes
I think about Star Wars. I think about THX
right,
sound. I think about and then
exactly.
I think about listening to that in a car with tin speakers sticking out
Yeah.
The
of one window
tinniness.
in mono.
Yep.
Not even stereo, in mono with a tin
Yeah.
speaker hanging off of one window. Kind of
Actually, you talk
defeats the
about driving.
purpose of THX a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They talk about drive-in movie theaters. They did something at the Nassau Coliseum for 2 summers back to back. They haven't done it this year yet, well, that I know of. But they have a giant, the pixelated jumbotrons they have on the outside of those types of auditoriums, like the one that I was at for Trump's inauguration, the Nassau Coliseum. They have those big jumbotrons outside all around the theater. Well, they would have you drive up to them and you could watch a movie in your car and change your radio station to an AM frequency that was specifically tuned into the actual movie's dialogue. So you could hear the
Hmm.
movie's dialogue on your car stereo system while watching the movie. And if it was too hot, you just close your windows up and turn on your air conditioning. But you ran the car for an hour and
Well,
20 minutes or 2 hours.
I want to say hi to my friend Rocky over there in Rumble, and it's nice to see Rocky and Magatic over in the chats there, Rumble. But they did something here where they blow up a screen.
Yes.
They would inflate a screen in a regular parking lot and do the same thing with the radio frequency,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah, with an AM transmitter, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. They do that at
and
the
then
beach sometimes.
yeah,
I think we lost Hawk.
you froze, Bruce.
Yeah, he'll be back in. It's his connection does come and go from time to time.
Okay. So, when was the last time either of you saw a drive-in movie theater, either on one of those blow-up screens or whatever?
I was probably still in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, every I think it was Labor Day. It was right before school started. We would all get together and go to the drive-in, except for we used to go to the drive-in quite a bit in high school. I think maybe even into college until the drive-in theaters closed down. But our drive-in theater, I remember we went there one night, and we in the Central Valley, California, it gets very foggy some nights, and they have to actually cancel the
The showing.
showing
Yeah.
because of the fog. Yeah. And we went there thinking we watched the drive-in theater, and we're like, yeah, we can't watch it in the fog. It's closed.
That's funny.
But all the way up until college, I used to go until I moved to Los Angeles. I don't think I ever went to one since I moved to Los Angeles when I was 25. I don't think I ever went to one here.
Not even
But
the
when I
blow-up.
was in college,
Not even the blow-up one.
not even a blow up one, but I have friends that have went to those and told me about them, and
Yeah.
yeah,
We used to take the kids when they were little. They used to have it at the beach, probably about 10 miles from our house. They had the beach, and they would have it every once a month. No, once every other week on a Friday or Saturday night, and we'd have the whole big thing. There's Hawk. Squawk to the Hawk. Can you hear us, Hawk?
Squawk, I'm trying to get back.
You are good, sir. You're back.
Okay, great. Because I was gonna say, I was sure was enjoying everybody talking about how they got to see Star Wars in the theater in '77. That was great. I'm sure I was still just a gleam in my daddy's eye, but anyway, but it happened right around then, so it must have been a hell of a party because I showed up with my dad and left with my mom. Not sure they were married yet, but anyway.
Maybe out of Star Wars.
It could have been
celebrated Star Wars, all right?
Or maybe out of a Star Wars showing is what I was saying. I was just riffing on my own personal experience there.
Yeah, I was gonna say the fourth time you went, you didn't talk about it, and I'm pretty sure that's what was going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Too funny.
But yeah, but that movie absolutely changed everything. It's I mean, to a lot of us, I mean, it just really held a deeper meaning, and but I mean, as far as the industry, I mean, that's where the term blockbuster came from. All the people standing around, just too many people to fit on the block. Like the Chinese theater in L.A., Norm's neck of the woods.
Chinese theater.
Yep. I mean,
right.
That's
where
the whole term came from. Go ahead, Norm.
No, it's right. Yeah, it's right over there. But yeah, and then in 1982, Indiana Jones kind of did the same thing. Imagine a world without George Lucas. How much he influenced movies.
Right.
Yeah, well, he's the whole reason credits are run at the end now instead of the beginning. They used to be at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And he got in a lot of trouble for that at the time too, because they didn't like that, but it was the right thing to do for continuity, and he knew it.
Absolutely.
Because people got up and left before they read. Like only the industry people that were in the credits wanted to really stay.
Well, no, that's what we're saying. They moved the credits to the end. Before they used to be at the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And people got up and left and then didn't actually read the credits, and he got in trouble. Yeah, the industry did.
Yeah, because he ran them at the end, people didn't stay to read the credits, and he got in trouble for that. Now I get what you.
Well, that's what they think. But when I mean, the kids were lined up with the toys, having the model people sign it. I mean, somebody knew something about it. I don't. I think I think that was kind of a false accusation that he had to.
That was Lucas's genius. But Lucas's genius was keeping the toy rights. Keeping the merch rights.
He made more money on the toys than he did on the movie.
Oh yeah, and the empty box campaign.
As far as the credits movie,
the empty box campaign, Bruce, was, but it was so popular, and I believe the toy company that finally signed with Star Wars for the toys was Kenner, but they shipped out a bunch of empty boxes and said, you can come redeem this coupon and get these toys, the action figures.
Oh, that's
right. We covered that. We covered that here on the show. I'd have to go back and look which episode. We talked about that.
Boba Fett, I actually saved up 4 UPS or UPC things from the other action figures.
Right.
And then I mailed them in, and I was supposed to get a Boba Fett, but they had to delay that because they had a projectile missile in his back.
The choke hazard.
Yeah, and but I did eventually get that action figure. And
they weren't allowed to create any toys as of 1976 with what was known as stored energy. If the missile locked in, then it was stored energy, and you had to flip the lever to release the missile. So that's what was called stored energy. That's my takeaway from the toy industry from years ago. I was doing all those interviews with Comic-Con and toy, the
Yep.
toy fair in New York City. And that was a big thing because there's actually a guy, what the hell is his name? Dwayne or Darren, I forgot his first name. It started with a D, but he was like the head guy at Kenner when they released the first series of toys, and then he got absorbed by Hasbro, and they kept him on the Star Wars line, and he was like the old man. He retired about 10 years ago, but he wrote a book about the Star Wars toys, the Kenner line that was released, and he wrote an entire book about it. And I'm trying to think of his name. Daryl was. I wonder if I still have his phone number in here. Wow.
We covered it in
Also,
depth here, Bruce, because I remember distinctly us talking about the Boba Fett launchable missile from the back of his
Right.
backpack. Yeah, we talked about this quite extensively.
You know
on
what?
the
I
show
think
before,
they
yeah.
repeated that by the time the Transformers came out because
that's what I'm saying. It took me longer to get the action figure because they had to recall it. But
Now,
me and my
supposedly they weren't. Supposedly, those with the stored energy was never actually released. There was the
correct.
prototype, and there was a second prototype. And there is a guy that owns a Star Wars toy museum that he has in an actual like airplane hangar that he has built on his property, and he has one of the two originals. And I think the other person who has the second one, or one of I guess the first one, is Lucas. I think Lucas has one of the original ones. So there were only two ever officially made.
And at the time they realized this through the Battlestar Galactica toys
Which
that
was the year before.
I had those Battlestar Galactica toys, me and my brothers, that
Right.
actually shot the missiles. And
Yeah.
it's a similar
It was because of those toys that they implemented the law: no stored in the toy industry, no stored energy, because somebody shot themselves in the eye. Somebody
They'll
shot
put your eye out.
Yeah, somebody shot one
got
gentleman.
it
was crazy.
It got stuck up people's noses and all sorts of things. But to find one of those toys with actually the missiles intact, because those are the first things to be lost. Because they only came with, like, the Battlestar Galactica ones only came with 2 missiles, I think. And they were the first things to get lost. You shoot them and they go, and who knows where they go. So
We did a nice piece. Bruce actually did the interview, and we played a short from it, but we haven't played the long form interview yet with a guy we met at Steel City Con who had a Godzilla model. And the Godzillas were the same way. It had stored energy in the fist, for one thing, because the fist locked in and then you pulled a trigger and it shot the fist out. But then it also had the thing where you pulled the lever on the back of its neck. And what did it do when that happened? Yeah, its tongue would stick out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brother,
and but all the
brother
levers are broken. There's no intact Godzillas with the levers. So what this guy showed us, and we did it on Bruce did a nice interview that we did a short with, is a guy who's 3D printing sleeves that fit over the broken little nub that is inevitably sticking out of everybody's Godzilla and restores the lever back to its. So when we saw it, it looked like an original lever. It looked like it was still intact, and right away Bruce is like, "No, I can't. That's not intact." And then the guy pulls it off, and he says, "No, see, look, it's this 3D printed sleeve."
That's right. And there's also another guy that 3D prints the fist that everybody would shoot off. And
so
remove.
I would not be at all surprised if you can find 3D printed replicas now of the missiles or anything else that you need to restore those toys back to.
What were those giant robot things? Because my brother had the Shogun robot with the same sort of fist. Yeah, same
Shogun,
fist that shot out. And
Poseidon, Mazinga. Oh my God, I forgot them. Poseidon, Mazinga. I used to know them all by heart. I actually had the miniature die-cast ones.
I'm impressed, Bruce, because everybody, all of us brothers had we had a different one. We had
12-foot.
That's all way after my time. My
Yeah,
robots that have
2 feet tall.
Yeah. My robots that have the fists to shoot out are red and blue. They're Rock'em Sock'em robots. And the stored energy is in the head.
That's it. Right. But it doesn't let go. The stored energy only goes so far.
It doesn't release the product, so
Right.
it doesn't release anything. So it's really...
That's funny.
Yeah.
Too much.
All right. Well, we are past the midpoint of the show. I need to get a refill myself. I don't know if anybody else needs a quick break, but I do have an intermission lined up tonight. It's a little tribute to Star Wars.
Absolutely. Why don't we run that? And I'm going to go refill my water because I can't drink alcohol. I'm with the grandbabies today and tomorrow.
Fair
I'm staying
enough.
over.
Nice. All right. When we come back, we'll see if Zoso Dude has popped in yet and maybe take a little Bruce on the loose. See what else we got for tonight. So
sounds good.
We'll see y'all in 5 minutes.
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? Am I reject I just know it. I'm here to rescue you. I'm here with Rasta Obi-Wan. Rasta Obi-Wan. Where is he, my brother? Come on, sister. Obi-Wan is here. Jah force is with him. Rasta Obi-Wan, what make you think that? A tremor in the force, me spirit away. Last time me feel this, me own master said. He must not be allowed to escape. I must face him alone, me brother. Jah know me wait for ya. We meet again at last. The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil dread. Your powers are weak, old man. You can't win me, brother. If you strike me down, me become more powerful than you could imagine. Obi-Wan. No! Just take him away. Welcome, Ivory Jedi. Jah know me wait for you. You no longer need these. Jah break you free. Obi-Wan break it down. I am looking forward to completing your training, my brother. My brother. Soon you call me Master Babylon Emperor. You're wrong, Babylon man.
You turned my father, but my heart stayed true. Oh no, me young Jedi, you will find that it is you who are mistaken. His lightsaber, yes, a Jedi weapon, much like your father. But you know Dread Vader won't turn back. Dark side grip him tight. You're wrong, my brother, so my spirit fly free. Your rain will crumble, Babylon fall with me. I swear we're safe. Your rebels no threat. Jah guard me fortress. Your friends soon regret. Resistance awaits me son. Rasta Obi-Wan fail. I Yoda gone. Your path is set, Jah write it in stone. Like Dread Vader, boy, you know me own. Believe it, my brother. Believe it, my brother. Believe it, my brother. Believe it, my brother. You, like your father, are now mine.
And we are back. That was our Rasta salute to Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else tried to, but I tried to reach out to Zosu, but he's not responding, so I don't know if he's out there in the chats. If you see him out there, shout out. But I texted him to see if he could catch the next segment, which we're about to start.
Well, you want to go into that one now then, or stall with something else until...
Yeah, you got something else to stall for a little bit. Let's do that to see if he jumps back in real quick.
All right. Well, I have a segment that we haven't done for a little while here. In fact, it's been quite a while since we did one of these.
What the hell is even that?
So...
I know what that is. I'm not going to say a word.
Yeah, there is this week's What the Heck, and there is a picture of it next to a $5 bill for scale, so that you can get an idea of what size it is. And there is me holding it, very much like a lightsaber, but it's not a lightsaber.
Well, I'm not sure what it is, but I know what I could use it for.
You're out in the wild there, so does that give us a clue?
Not at all.
Is it something outdoorsy or?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Looks like a bottle scrubber.
It just looks like a pipe cleaner, or bottle scrubber, or some sort of pipe cleaner.
Yeah, although again, it's fairly big. And you can see I'm holding it there. That's a fairly good sized piece of hardware.
I drink out of big bottles.
Keep guessing, guys. Let's see if anybody in the chats knows what it is.
That's not for poking a bear with, is it?
I will have to say, Syllabor gave the correct answer out in the D-Live chat. So Syllabor gets the cred. And by the way, Zoso Dude is in the house. So, let me quickly explain what this is so that we don't keep everybody in suspense. Dryer vent brush is what this is sold as. But if you happen to be in Val Kimber's show last week, you might know that this is, in fact, what I used to clean out my refrigerator, which was acting up last week. And that is my refrigerator compressor when I took the back off. There's the refrigerator after I pulled it out, and that is what the compressor looked like, or the evaporator coils looked like. So shout out to Willie Fixit for correctly diagnosing that that is going to be a problem. And one of the things that happens when you try to get in there with a vacuum cleaner is that's about as much as you can do with a vacuum cleaner. Vacuum cleaner isn't going to do shit. That's what this guy is for. And it bends at any angle you need it to, so it can fit into a perfect curve, and it's like a dust magnet, as you can see right here. So after several cleaning iterations, we finally got the refrigerator looking back a little bit like it should actually look again. And unfortunately, that did make it run a little better, but it didn't fix the problem. So my next shot was, this is the freezer compartment with the back taken out. And this is something called the defroster element. So there's a defroster element in the bottom, and I replaced that thinking that was going to do it. But unfortunately, after I pulled the old one out, I threw a multimeter on it and discovered that sure enough, it was fine. It looked old, but it was still working. So I have a new refrigerator scheduled to arrive on Friday. Fuck this. I'm not dealing with it anymore.
Nice try, though, Cosmac. I'm sure you really went all the way through that whole thing trying to get it to work proper. But in the end,
it was a try. I also replaced a thermostat that I didn't show, a thermistor, a little temperature sensor.
Yeah.
But that also tested good. The one I took out also tested good on the multimeter. So I have not found the problem, and I'm not looking for it anymore. Memorial Day sale, Memorial Day appliance sale.
Yeah.
is the operative word. I got an $1,100 refrigerator for about $600. It's coming on Friday. So
nice. It used to be only mattresses, I think. Yeah, and now it's everything. Yeah.
So I wish you lots of luck.
On to Bruce, because he had something he wanted to show Zosa Dude.
So this was this afternoon. I didn't have anything really going on all week long for a Bruce on the Loose, but I just happened to be coming to Connecticut this weekend to spend time with my grandbabies. And God puts me in strange places at the most opportune time, and this is the result. Go ahead, Cosmac. Run the first one.
Hey guys, Bruce Q. Wayne on his way to visit the grandchildren. So it's Bruce on the Loose here for 3BeerMen, and I happened to hit this rest stop in Connecticut, and I ran into these two very wonderful people who are amazing. I mean, they're just doing God's work, and they reminded me a lot of Zoso Dude, and we just started talking. So we're gonna step into a quick interview right now, because I want them to tell us about what they do and how they do it. Hi guys, how you doing?
We're good. Excellent.
All right. So I'm Bruce Q. Wayne from 3BeerMen, and you guys are
Jetman.
Fly Girl.
And you guys are with a program called
Run for the Wall.
Run for the Wall. Can I see the back of your jacket, please, Fly Girl? 35 years. Run for the Wall. So can you tell the audience who may not know what the wall is, what the wall represents?
Well, the wall itself, it refers to the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., and there's 58,000 names on it. And then we escort a group of roughly 1,500 veterans from coast to coast, California to Washington, D.C., all of them going for different reasons to the wall. But
okay, and that's where my phone decided to fritz out on me, so we wound up doing the second half of this, which runs about 10 and a half minutes. So Cosmic, go ahead and play that next.
All right, and holler if you need me to pause it at any point. Otherwise, I'll just let it run.
I was trying to raise the volume. I apologize. All right, we're back. We're back to Jetman.
Oh, well, anyway, some of these guys are going because it's a bucket list item, and others it's a healing mission. People of that era, this is the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, and people from that era came home to a terrible, if any, greeting. They were spit on, you know. It's
I remember,
not like the heroes today.
No, not at all. And it's funny because I was born in '64, so okay. I grew up at the
very beginning of it.
Yeah, and So I got to watch what was going on, and it was sad to see what they did to our veterans and how they just demoralized them.
Yeah, and some of them, it's the first time they've ever been welcomed home in 50 years, and others, they're going there to see their buddies' names on the wall that died protecting them, you know, so
Absolutely.
that they can make it home.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of different reasons for people going, but it's a healing mission, and Jody and I, our job is to be road guards for this group, and we protect the group, mark intersections and turns, they don't miss them. We cover the on-ramp so no truck comes running down the middle of 500 motorcycles.
Right. Now let me ask you a question. Are they all on motorcycles, or are some of them in vehicles because they can't ride anymore?
No, predominantly it's all motorcycles. It's a motorcycle event. It's the longest organized motorcycle ride in the world.
And it's made up of a lot of great support teams. So we're road guards, so we do just kind of what Bill was saying, protecting the pack, circling the pack, all the way across the country, being dispatched and working with local PD as we go through a lot of these cities and towns.
So do you have to get permits for these, or is it
not like a parade permit or something? But if you're going to work with the local PD, they work it out in advance, so because they have to have the time off and the resources available.
Lots of support, but then there's all kinds of support teams. Not only the road guard team, we have a fueling team that on just days ago fueled 235 motorcycles in 8.5 minutes.
That's amazing. Oh my God. How long did it take?
8.5 minutes.
8.5 minutes. And how many attendants did they have?
Well, we have our own team that comes in.
Oh, very cool.
And they're the ones doing the fuel. They work it out with the gas station so that
that's awesome.
The pump never shuts off. You know?
Right, just keeps running.
There's a road guard team, there's a staging team, there's a fueling team. We have an outreach team. They read bios. They ask our new members on the run that are going to the wall to carry those bios of those POW, MIA, KIA veterans bios to the wall. So they are then carrying that for the rest of the route. That outreach team does that. There's a hydration team. There's a chaplain team.
I love that.
An ambassador team. There's just a
medical
lot of
team and
leadership.
And you asked earlier about people riding the motorcycle. Some of them might be on trikes, and we divide them up into platoons because they have different dynamics. So the trikes won't be mixed with the bikes, but they can be together in their own platoon.
And then every platoon has a platoon leader, an assistant platoon leader, and a tail gunner.
That's awesome.
Leadership support,
so, I mean, thank God you guys are a big enough group. People see you coming.
About 1.5 miles, 2 miles on the midway route.
Yeah, seeing us usually isn't the biggest problem.
It's the hearing.
Yeah, it's being smart enough to know what to do with that information and process it. But
we are the smallest route on I-40, which is a midway route. Central, it takes I-70 across the country, and then our southern route takes I-10. And then from the wall, today, Sunday, they leave and go back to Marcel, Illinois, and that's the fourth route.
So wait, you guys have been on the road.
Marcel, Illinois.
Right. But I'm sorry, I apologize. I didn't mean to cut in on you like that. You said you left Denver, Colorado on May 12th?
Yeah.
And you've been on the road since?
Yes.
God bless you.
Yeah,
that's kind of what reminded me of our buddy Zoso dude, who's a biker himself.
Once we finish up getting these, let me back up a minute.
Sure.
Everybody gathers in California, but the group is so big that for logistical reasons they split them into the 3 routes that she was talking about.
Okay.
So the most you'll see on an average route would be around 400 or 500 motorcycles. But that's enough to handle just as it is.
Right.
In our footprint on the highway, even with the platoons and everything, is still a couple miles long.
Yeah.
And so
it's amazing.
It's a big group.
We take the veterans to a lot of really neat places, VA homes,
in route.
and memorials along the way.
So yeah, you have to stop for food, bathroom breaks, whatever.
Well, and all that stuff is organized.
No, I understand that, but that you plan sightseeing as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's more
memorials.
Exactly.
It's memorial visits, and that's really cool because
we have a missing man formation that rides up front, and every single leg of the road, every day, there's a different person riding with an empty hole beside them. representing who they're riding for that may have been killed in action or a prisoner of war or still missing in action. So they ride each leg, a different person every day, you know, representing that missing soldier, that missing veteran, that killed veteran.
And then once we start home, after we get them there, we're kind of on our own. So that's why she and I are traveling together right now. And we're going to go north up into Maine, across Canada, and then drop back down into Colorado somewhere.
So how late are you going to drive into the evening tonight?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever, we can get a decent check-in at a hotel.
We like to be stopped at a decent time, so it takes a while to unload and load every morning and every night.
It's nice to have a relaxing dinner and make plans for tomorrow and get a good night's sleep. Because when we're on the road working, there's a whole lot of 4 a.m. get-ups. And, you know.
We slept until almost 6:30
Yeah, we slept until 6:30 today.
Yeah, there you go. Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Guys, I got to say, I'm so pleased I met you. You know, God puts people in our paths for a reason.
And we're praying that he does.
Absolutely.
We ask for all the prayers we can get along the way, so we appreciate it. Everybody's headed home from D.C. in all different directions. So
it's crazy, but it's amazing all in the same breath. And I thank you for what you do. And is there a website or is there a fund that if somebody wants to donate?
RFTW.us. What's Run for the Wall.
RFTW.
It's just the initials, RFTW.us. And there, all the information they want to know, historical and what we've done and pictures. And right now you can get on there and see the itineraries for these different routes and the places that we stop and where our overnights are.
All the photo galleries and then the mission statement, we ride for those who can't. So it's got to not have snow sticking to the ground. We are out there in wind and weather and rain and hail and...
You got to have your gear with you.
We ride in all of it.
Yeah, when you go across the entire United States, you're bound to encounter something.
Yeah.
You know, and we go across the United States twice.
And their schedule with the stopping and the gas stations and the lunch stops and the way they take care of us. People come out of the woodwork to feed us, and you know, we stage in the morning at the largest parking lot, which might be a church parking lot. It could be a Sam's Club, but the gas stations and the lunch stops are scheduled to the minute. So it's really critical that we keep the pack on time and rolling.
It's really nice because take Central Route, for instance. They go across I-70 across Kansas, and just due to the geography there, the connecting or the intersecting roads are overpasses. And so you go under all these overpasses going down I-70, and you see the patriotism that people try to tell you isn't in this country, and it's there.
Amen.
And you'll come up and you'll see a family up there, and because of our itinerary, they can do it to the minute. And they can see they're up there waving flags. You get to the next one, there'll be one soldier out there in his World War II uniform holding a salute till we all go by.
In the wind, in the rain, in the hail.
You get to the next one, there'll be 2 fire trucks and a 60-foot flag and 300 people. I mean, you just never know what's going to greet you on the overpass.
So if they go to the website, they can track your travels.
If they go to the website, they can go to where it says itinerary. And
itinerary gives them your route and the days and dates that you'll be there.
Yeah.
You have to be there within a certain time bracket, I'm guessing, right?
Well, yeah, we all arrive in Washington, D.C. on Friday afternoon of Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
But at different times because we're coming from 3 different routes.
All getting into the same area within 4 hours of each other after an 11-day cross-country run.
So you guys were in D.C. yesterday?
Yeah.
Day before yesterday.
Yeah, day before yesterday.
Okay, today's Sunday.
We left there yesterday morning.
Okay, so you got there Friday night,
and left
Saturday morning.
And then another group is leaving this morning. They're leaving for another wall.
There's another
Marcel, Illinois.
route that takes them up to, it's the Mideast Conflicts Wall in Marcel, Illinois. And that's for the sandbox people. And it's a little younger group,
3 days,
different wars.
Called
There you go. Guys, I wish I could talk to you longer, but I'm only allotted 10 minutes, and we're almost at that mark.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys so much. This has been an amazing, just encounter. Well, I'm still driving to my grandkids in Connecticut, so.
Okay.
But you guys be safe. God bless you, and may you guys have a wonderful, safe travel. And thank you for what you do. And for 3BeerMen, I'm Bruce on the Loose. Happy Memorial Day, and thank you to all of our veterans, all of the soldiers now. Support our troops. Support America. God bless you all. Peace out from Batman. They were really, really just like I talked with them for almost half an hour at the rest stop. They were just getting onto their bikes as I was just getting ready to head into the rest stop. I wanted to grab a bottle of water and take a Zarge break because I still had another 45-minute ride into Connecticut. And it was amazing. It's like I even had a conversation with you earlier, Cosmic, and I said, I have nothing for you on Bruce on the Loose. It was just so busy for me at
Yeah,
work.
literally. You're like,
And
no, I don't have anything this week. And then all of a sudden videos start showing up in Telegram and it's oh, guess you got something.
it was amazing. And then there's also photographs. If you go to the Discord real quick, I got some close-ups of, well, decent shots of their vests and their special guard patches that they wear when they're driving with the crew, with the veterans. If you can go to Discord, show chats. I don't know which one I was in.
It's it's the old one. It'll take me just a second. I'll get there.
I'm
I'll get
sorry.
there. It's
That's the one that happened to be opened when I opened up Discord. It popped right up in front of me. I'm like, oh, good, I'm in it.
I don't think there's a way
One-
to take that one down either. I
there isn't any way to take it down because nobody's the administrator of it anymore. But
So this is Fly Girl and her outfit, and then go to the next picture. You can see the back of her vest, and this is Run for the Wall, and it's all the different years that they did all these different events. It's 35 years already, and it's the 50th anniversary of Vietnam, the retreat, pulling out of Vietnam War, the end of the Vietnam War. It's 50 years ago already. It's crazy. And so all these veterans, God bless them, they put up with so much when they came home. They were just unbelievable. And Judy the Lady Pug, I was inspired to go cross country by my buddy who did the Run for the Wall ride. Nice. Thank you for putting that up there.
Zoso dude that put that in there to Judy the Lady Pug, but it was Zoso dude who was inspired to do his cross country by his buddy who did the Run for the Wall. And
So
I put the link in all of the chats, by the way.
Thank you. I saw that.
If anybody wants to go look at that, you can follow the link. I put it in all the chats.
Yeah,
I've noticed something when you put that in the link about EV Mux banning, or the way they banned some links. If you look at EV Mux there, did you see that, Koss? It puts the emoji so you can't put them right. Go ahead. We'll talk about that later.
What's really cool is Fly Girl.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, Norm. Yeah, that's interesting that they do that. Okay.
That's interesting. So Fly Girl was actually an airline attendant, an airline stewardess, whatever you want to call them. She was an airplane attendant, and that's the armband they have to wear. And she's got those little metal pins that you see above the word Fly Girl, Road Guard. Those are actually police badges that are given to them, and she's got one for almost every year they've been doing this run from California to DC. As you see, Run for the Wall, CADC. So it's really cool. And then she's got another one that goes on the other arm, and she just started putting the badges on that side as well. So this one's full, and then she's got more going on the other side. But really cool. Go to the next one, Cosmac. So this is Bill. I'm sorry, Bill, and his name is Jetman, and he was an airplane captain. So he flew the planes, and she was a passenger. She was a flight attendant on the planes, and they're married. They're a husband and wife team, and they're both retired now, and they've been doing this. I think they said the last 10 or 12 years, give or take. But just a really sweet couple, and
just God bless them for what they do for these veterans. I mean, that's got to be a thrill of a lifetime. And as Zoso knows, just traveling cross country like that to visit with family and friends, and they would go to memorials, war memorials, and they would stop and they would go to these memorials along. They do stop at these memorials and they go along the way. They have them all routed out, and it's incredible. So there's got to be something on their website if you guys want to donate to their cause. I'm sure they could always use contributions. Just a really awesome couple, and it was amazing to meet them. And like I said earlier, Hashem puts me in places for a reason. And these people were awesome. So it was great to be able to interview them. And I was glad I was able to get these over to you, Cosmac, in time, because I know I was really close to the cusp of the hour on that one.
Well, you like to cut it close, Bruce, but I do my best to do what I can.
So Fly Girl actually gave me this pin. I don't know if you can blow me up.
Hang on, let me switch back to us and then to you. Okay, there you go.
So this is a Vietnam War 50th anniversary pin, 35 years of doing the Run for the Wall. So she gave me this pin before I even ask him to do the interview. She saw my hat and we were talking, and I was very intrigued by them. And I'm like, I would love to know a little bit more about it, but would you guys be okay with me interviewing you for a segment on my podcast? And they were like, absolutely, no problem. So really, I mean, this was a, God's gift to me for today, guys. So thank you for allowing me to share it with you. And again, to all of our veterans out there, to all of our soldiers out there, may God bless you and may God keep you. And thank you for what you do, because without you, we wouldn't be America. We would not be free today. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. So
yeah, I'm glad I stopped and listened, because I was like, all right, they're going to go support the building of that wall on the southern border.
Yeah, no, it was Run for the Wall, and that's the wall in DC, the Veterans Memorial Wall. And what did he say they had? They had over 35,000 names on the wall. That was at the very beginning.
I want to say it's closer to like a 500,000 names on the wall.
Possibly. I don't know. I thought he said
maybe it's 250,000, but it's up there.
Yeah. But it's wild because I didn't get a picture of it. I couldn't get close enough. You guys all know that I like to go to this place called the Lark. It's my favorite watering hole. So Friday night, my brother and I paused. We went out for dinner. We grabbed a burger and a brew. And across the street is the fire department. And they had all of the military flags on this, looked like a fence almost, that was out front. It was about 6 foot high, and it was about 40 feet wide in sections. And there were all dog tags of all those members of the community that had died during the Vietnam War, or had died in the course of war. And it was wild. It was really wild. So I didn't get pictures of that. I hope it's still up when I go back on Tuesday, because I'm going to be here for a while. Thank you, P. Dan. I appreciate you. That was a lot of fun, and it made me feel good to be able to do that for them. So thanks for letting me share that, guys. But why don't we move on with the show and see what else we have for the rest of the evening, which is only about 20 minutes left till we.
We got about 20 minutes left to get through before we send everybody over Zoso Dude's way. And I do have some announcements that I don't want to forget. In fact, I will even digress just momentarily to mention that after Zoso Dude tonight, of course, Val Kimber will be live as always on Sunday night on KMBR. Val _ Kimber over on the D Live. But a bit of exciting news. Val Kimber has started a YouTube channel with all new original content, because as we know, you can't just play anybody's music on YouTube. It doesn't work that way. So Val Kimber has a brand new YouTube channel, and it is called Val Kimber on YouTube. And in a little over 3 hours from now, at 12:15 a.m., there will be a premiere on the Val Kimber YouTube channel. Original music by Val Kimber called Shadows of the Past By. So please jump over to YouTube, give Val a subscription. In fact, you're going to watch me subscribe right there. So I just subscribed to Val Kimber. He now has 21 subscribers, I believe. So by all means, get over there and subscribe and show Val some love. Val has certainly shown us no end of love. Val has probably been the most consistent viewer of our show, outside of TL and maybe Willie Fixit and a few of our other favorite D-Live people. Since the very beginning, I think Val has been at every show or almost every show since day one.
Val was the first one to chat in our chat. Even when we were doing a test, he jumped in. When we were just testing out the channel, he jumped in. So before we even started really streaming. So Val has been here since I remember day one.
So now he's got 22 subscribers. I just joined.
Yes, and as TL says, hit that bell for notifications. So I don't have the like, subscribe. That's over on the Chaos channel. The overlay that I play that says like, share, and subscribe. Because that's not really our thing. We're not about like, share, and subscribe. We're about tune in, relax, chill out, have fun.
Oh, now he's up to 23. He's up to 23 subscribers.
All right.
I'll get one more in just a minute here. Give me a minute. Okay.
We'll get you there to your 100 real quick, Val.
Yeah. Here we go.
Indeed. TL says Val has also caught all of the Pokemon, so.
Do you want to show you my cozy that I got at intermission? It's my Wookiee cozy that I decided to.
There you go.
Oh, nice. That's almost as well. That is more fun even than my Lederhosen koozie. So.
Very good. All right, what else you got for us next, Cosmac?
All right. Well, just a little bit of quick follow-up from a few weeks ago. You guys may remember when I showed you this picture of my backyard.
Yes, we do.
That was the fallout of a literally 20-minute windstorm. I mean, the whole thing started and ended in 20 minutes time. And that was what was left of my backyard. So I had to wait almost a month because the amount of damage in the area was pretty incredible. There was all of the tree services have been pretty much booked solid for the last month. And my guys actually came out in the rain, which didn't do anything for my yard, unfortunately, but I was still grateful to get them out at all. And so this is before and this is after.
Wow.
So this is what my yard looks like as of literally this morning, because they just finished this up yesterday. And you can see that I have no lawn left. It's
I think it's
gone.
time to build a greenhouse out there, and you can start growing your own fruits and vegetables in the greenhouse.
Well, I wouldn't be growing fruits and vegetables. I'd be growing more profitable things, but that's
Yeah,
neither here nor there.
Things that
I was
still
But
as,
count.
as,
but
as soon as
but yeah,
you
you can
said
see
greenhouse, I was thinking,
the
why fruits
the
and
three down
vegetables?
trees, so you can see the stuff sticking up out of the air, and you can see that they cut it all right down to the ground. The one stump is still sticking out crooked, but
It's all right. They got the heavy
but
stuff out of the way.
at least it's done. And the more important thing is that my back porch, which you can't really see, is underneath these branches here, which is where the back entrance to the house is now clear so that they can bring in the refrigerator that I need to have delivered next Friday. So timing is everything, I guess.
Indeed. Wow.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd give everybody that little update there, let you know what's going on.
Very cool. All right. So, less than 15 minutes to go. Do we have anything else to go into? Do you have any cooking segments
Well,
we can do?
I do, in fact. I warned everybody last week that I was going to do a sampling of those hot sauces that I got from
Oh,
Lori
little ketchup.
Calcaterra,
Yeah.
the Path of the Pale sauces. Just Jim. Let me throw that up there with a quick thanks. I'll let you guys shout that out real quick.
Thank God it wasn't our
Just
norm.
Jim.
Yeah. Rip George went.
Thank
Rip George.
Thank you,
Jesus.
Just Jim, for the ship. We very
you.
much appreciate that. That's huge. He's
and
on
thank you
alive.
for caring about.
Yeah, thanks for coming over and saying hello. So I mentioned the sauces that I got as part of a Kickstarter. This, in fact, was this is the Path of the Pale Rider, and this is the official wood cover version, which, by the way, is very, very nice. Laura does these on her own machine, and yeah. So there's Path of the Pale Rider, and with that particular perk came some hot sauces, which I showed off last week. And let me see if I have a picture up here somewhere. I think we go. There we go. Cause in the kitchen. And it is particularly hot tonight because these are the hot sauces that I went ahead and did a little. I did my own little hot ones thing. So I took these five hot sauces. Three of those are the ones that I got from Laurie's campaign. The mango habanero, the heart-stopping jalapeno and serrano, and the Path of the Pale sauce, which I had a lot of hope for, and it did not let me down. And then on either side, on the left-hand side, I have some sauce that I literally have had sitting around on a souvenir shelf since 2018. This is a sauce. If you look very carefully in the lower corner, you can see a picture of Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell is King of Kong. He's the Guinness World Record holder for the high score on Donkey Kong. And I met him at an event in 2018 and was personally handed this bottle of hot sauce as a souvenir of that particular meeting. So I've had that hot sauce since 2018. The three bottles in the middle are the ones I got from Lori, and the one over on the right, Secret Aardvark, is my go-to. It's my daily sauce. It's my favorite hot sauce, and it is so hot that Mrs. Cause can't even, like, if she gets a whiff of it off the utensils that I use, she will start sneezing and her eyes will start watering.
Wow.
But it's habanero. But anyway, so I decided to go ahead and do a little bit of tasting. And I took this picture with some ranch in here, but the irony is that I never ended up using any of the ranch dressing. The wings were all so good that they did not need dressing to make them tasty. So start out with, here's a trick. I learned this from the Hot Ones, how the Hot Ones actually did this. They start out with Tupperware containers. And every sauce, different sauce, goes into a separate Tupperware container. And you, of course, mix hot sauce with butter to make proper hot sauce. Now, in the meantime, I'm taking, I happen to have peanut oil here. This is what I'm using. And I'm going to take a fairly deep pan. I would use a shallower pan if I had a shallower pan that was this big around. But the only pan that I have that's this big around is too shallow. And I don't want oil splashing out of the pan. So I'm using a little deeper pan than I would normally use for deep frying. But anyway. So here are the wings. These came as whole wings, 5 whole wings with drumette, flat, and tip all attached. What I did is I cut them all apart into drumettes and flats, discarded the tips. If you're making stock, if you want to make chicken stock, the tips make excellent chicken stock. Little tip there, by the way. But so I've got the drumettes and the flats. And here is an important tip for really good wings, if you're going to deep fry them. I took this tray, just like you see it right here, and I put this in the refrigerator, and I let it sit in the refrigerator literally overnight. The idea is to dry these wings out, because moisture on the surface of the wings is the enemy of crisp frying. If you want these to fry up really crisp, you want them good and dry. Now, there's all kinds of recipes out there that brine them ahead of time and, you know, do all kinds of other things. And as far as I those are potentially all good, and there are also recipes with dry brining and cornstarch and everything else. But I'm going to tell you, I got this from Epicurious, and this works the best. These go in just like this. No other prep. 24 hours dry in the refrigerator and no other prep. No cornstarch, no coatings, no anything. They just go straight in just like this. So in the meantime, I'm going to melt that butter in the microwave. Okay, so there are the wings going into the fryer. And the drier they are, the less splatter up you'll get when you put them in. So that's another bonus. So now that I've got my melted butter, I'm doing my Tupperware containers of the sauces. The ratio here is 1 tablespoon of butter to 2 tablespoons of sauce. So in each of those little tubs there, I melted 1 tablespoon of butter, and then I added 2 tablespoons to each of those tubs of each of the sauces that you see right there, and mix those up real good. And again, I did get this from the official Hot Ones website. It is the official way to season wings or to sauce wings. So here are the wings after the oil has settled down a little bit. They're going to do about 12 minutes. The oil starts out at 375 degrees, and at the point at which you put the wings in, it's going to very quickly drop to about 350, and 350 is right where you want it. 350 is going to make perfect brown, crispy wings, just like you see right here. And as soon as they come out, while they're still a little bit warm, we're going to go ahead and put some salt and pepper on those guys, just to season them just lightly. We're not trying to add too much flavor to them because the sauce is what the flavor is all about in this case. So what I did is I separated them up and I put them each into the tubs. And the official Hot Ones technique is very simple. You put them in a tub, you put the lid on, and you shake them. And you shake them until they are well sauced. So that's what I did. And there they are. And there they are plated. So that's my 5 rounds from mildest to hottest. I was assuming that the Billy Mitchell sauce would be the mildest, and sure enough, it was. It was basically repackaged Frank's hot sauce. It was, if you're familiar with Frank's, it's hot sauce. I mean, but it's extremely mild. Now, I will say, as far as Laurie's go, the mango habanero was very fruity. I enjoyed that a bit. I'm not a fruit person myself, but I did enjoy it. It came through very nicely, and it was not overly spicy at all. The jalapeno serrano, the heart stopping, was even better, but very green. You know how you can smell green in a thing? Yeah, it was very green smelling, but it didn't come across tasting like vegetables. So it was, and it had kind of a creeper heat. It wasn't hot up front, but it kind of crept up. Now the Path of the Pale Rider, the Path of the Pale sauce was the one I was really looking forward to, because that was the one with the ghost pepper and. It was awesome. It had, I read out the list of ingredients last week. It had a bunch of regular barbecue sauce ingredients. So it came across up front as a barbecue. But boy, that ghost pepper really came in at the end there. And it did not disappoint. It was really, really, really good. So thank you, Laurie, for that. I will enjoy that. I will be enjoying that until that bottle runs out. And of course, the last ones I had were the Secret Aardvark. As I said, I have that pretty much every week on buffalo chicken. I enjoy the Secret Aardvark. That's jalapeno, and it is... it's probably 50 or 60,000 Scovilles. So it'll make your nose run. Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, what were the Scovilles on the ghost pepper, Path of the Pale sauce?
Those, as Pops predicted last week, Pops said when I said I was going to do this last week, Pops said they were all going to be fairly mild, and they were fairly mild. I would say the ghost, the Path of the Pale sauce, maybe a 5,000. I mean, nothing, again, compared to, 20 or 30 at least for the Secret Aardvark, if not more. And that was the leftovers. So that was my adventure.
Very good. So they were all pretty delicious. You just enjoyed some more than others.
I never made it to the ranch dressing on any of them, so that should tell you they were all pretty darn good.
There you go.
And Zoso Dude just donated us a quick 395 gold pills and said, I need 10 minutes, boys, so stretch it out.
Oh,
We can do that, Zoso.
we
We
just
can do that.
we just had 10 minutes right there. So,
All good on that one. We can do that. So, as far as those buffalo wings go, how long did it take you to cook up the chicken wings?
12 minutes in the oil.
12.
I had seen various recipes calling for anywhere between 8 and 12, and it took all 12 for these to come out, but they came out perfect. I mean, they were crispy and they just fell apart. And a little technique that I didn't realize, I had never done this before with the flats. If you twist the flats on both ends, you can actually pull one bone out clean of a flat all by itself and eat the rest off of the other bone, just like it was a drum. And I never knew that before. So that was new to me, but it worked, and it was yeah.
I'm going to have to try that trick next time I get wings.
Indeed.
Very cool. So, do we have another cooking segment? Do you have something else lined up? Maybe something Hawk did that we can roll in with 10, 8 minutes left?
Well, Squawk, are you here? Squawk's image is here, but I don't know if Squawk is here.
Squawk to the Hawk. Squawk, squawk to the Hawk. Come in, Hawk.
Been having some off and on tech issues.
There he is. Come on in, Hawk. Can you hear us, Hawk?
I think he's pooping on my car. Is that you?
That's possible.
All right.
Oh,
Nope.
no, he
lost
just
connection.
dropped out. So yeah,
That's all right. No
all
worries.
right. Well, yeah. So I do have, and I'm still sitting on some Squawk cooking segments. In fact, some chocolate. I've gotten away from the chocolate beer recently. Oh, there is Squawk. Are you back?
Squawk, am I back?
You're
5 by
back.
5.
All right.
I can't hear you, Bruce. I can see you.
5 by 5.
I can't hear anybody. I can just see everybody.
Uh-oh.
All right.
That happens sometimes.
Oh, damn it.
Should we have him try it one more time?
Squawking squawkers.
It might be the end of the show by the time he gets. Maybe we can get him in before the end.
Hello, Squawk.
I'm
Squawk.
here.
Squawk,
I'm
I'm
here,
here.
Squawk. If you can hear us, Squawk,
I'll have
you
to
can't hear us.
restart. Hold on.
Yeah.
All
Darn
right.
it. I was all set to show some hot cooking there.
We'll get back into it in a minute. Let him just refresh and come back in. But
I'm sure we
yeah,
can find other things to talk about.
I'm sure we can. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but I've been watching a couple of shows on Netflix lately because I'm getting bored, and so I let them run in the background and they play. Arnold Schwarzenegger did a show called Fubar back in 2023.
A couple of years ago.
Squawk.
There you are. Can you hear
There's
us?
the Squawk.
Wow, this time I couldn't hear anybody. I could see Bruce trying to talk to me, but I couldn't hear anything, but apparently you all could hear me.
All right.
We were hearing you. Yes, we were, Squawk.
So we've
All
got
right, well,
we've got a cooking segment lined up for you to do, Hawk. You ready?
If I can remember what I did, yeah, let's go for it. I'll wing it. Squawk.
Go for it, Cosmic.
Ah, yes. What the hell did I do with Jello? Pudding. I think I
I think it had
yes.
something to do with this.
yes. Now I recall doing this. This was kind of a last minute thing because I had two different pie crusts. One is chocolate, the other one obviously graham cracker. That's why I had the two different puddings out, the vanilla and the chocolate. Not that I want to be totally lazy, but these things sure are convenient to buy as opposed to make.
I will say, after making the chocolate crust for the tart that I did recently, that I would agree it's a lot easier to just go buy one of them
Yeah, instead
things.
of breaking out the food processor or, putting all the cookies in a bag and beating them, instead of all that, those pie crusts are nice. Handy too. So I did the exact opposite with each one.
So chocolate in the graham and vanilla in the chocolate, huh?
Yep, and then pretty sure I did whipped cream.
Yeah, that's what we got up now.
Yeah, these are just so simple to make, and boy, are they satisfying. They just really are, It's almost like a French silk. I know mousse is a little bit more high class than, pudding, but really, come on, that's just the French way of saying pudding, I'm pretty sure.
Indeed.
There we go. We just cover them nice. And what I like to do with these is they say you can refrigerate it. If you freeze them, they turn out much better. But you want to let them thaw just a little bit before you cut them.
Yeah, I would think so. I think you'd want to let them get just a little soft serve consistency.
Yeah, because if you don't, it's not going to cut like a pie. When you cut it, you want it to look like a pie for at least 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Is it like a graham cracker or? I mean,
Well,
s'mores. Is that like s'mores?
no, there's no
You don't have any
marshmallows. No marshmallows were injured in this or harmed in this pie making. One of them was a graham cracker crust. The other one was a chocolate cookie crust.
Well, no, I'm thinking the graham cracker one reminds me of s'mores. So
Well, that's because graham crackers are like 1/3 of their ingredients.
Yes, that's 1/3 of a reminder. Yeah. So
But
yeah,
so is
that
cheesecake, but cheesecake doesn't remind you of s'mores at all.
well, graham cracker and chocolate does. Just my
Well,
mistake.
but Norm, there's graham cracker on one and chocolate on the other.
Okay.
I
I
don't know
no.
where you. But see, this is what I ended up doing. Why not make it all American? So I added red and blue sprinkles to it.
yeah, absolutely. That looks awesome. That's
Yeah, see, that's why I was saying you kind of got to freeze and let it, because that's actually, if you look real close, that's two pieces of pie stacked on top of each other. One from each.
yeah, one of the dark crust and one of the lighter crust. Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So that's actually pretty hard to do if you've ever worked with pudding and whipped cream, they don't stack real well. But if you're a professional, you can occasionally pull something like this off.
Indeed. And that is why we have Cooking with the Squawk. Help
And
everybody be professional.
that would wash down those hot wings real nice. Something like that. That would put them
Oh
flames
yeah.
out for you.
That would be perfect. I agree.
So,
All right.
I think we've stretched a little bit, but I don't see Zoso dude on yet.
He might have just
I'm
gone
still.
crazy and gone on a ride for the wall or run for the wall. I mean, you don't know.
I think we need to release the gold pills and the scratchings. I'm sorry, the lemons and the scratchings. Why
Well,
don't we
that's
do
a
that?
really good suggestion there. While we are waiting, let me go ahead and let some lemons loose. Let me charge up that treasure chest here with some lemons. We've always got more to give away than we got, and as usual, we are giving away more than we got. So get your
We're not
chesticle fingers ready.
doing that bad on gold pills tonight, actually. Thanks to Zozo Dude and Just Jim, and yeah, not doing too bad.
All right, the treasure chest is about to be released, so go ahead and click that treasure chest if you are over there on the D Live. And I am going to go ahead and get the scratchings loose here over on the pilled.
Nice.
All right, scratchings are loose over here on the pilled.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. I'm hoping Zoso Dude will be going live shortly and we can start saying our goodbyes. So if you want to read off the chats, I don't see them live yet.
I got 22 lemons. Wow. Sorry about that, guys.
And there's the scratching. The
Yeah, who
scratching.
are our lucky lemon winners tonight were Bad Bad Zoot, Magatic, Willie Fix It, Syllabore, and Hang 10 Alien Surfer. And DeBar, Willie Fix It, Artist 61 have all started collecting scratchings. So keep those scratchings going by all means.
And Fact Finder, I know he's lurking. Fact Finder has been there since day one, and I used to participate in the chat. But see you still lurking. Thank you for that.
Very cool. Yep. Zoso Dude will be going live in about another 3 minutes. He just put his marker up for it just now. So,
all right. Anybody sees Zoso Dude go live, holler so we can go ahead and quickly switch over there. Something that we did not get to tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a teaser for. We are going to finally get back to some cheese talk next week.
Say cheese. Did somebody say cheese?
Because I got this great suggestion from Timescales over on the Madness Comic Network, and this is a Car Valley Cheese Coco Cardona. This is a goat's cheese sprinkled with cocoa. So chocolate and cheese together. So we've been doing chocolate and beer. This is an opportunity to sample chocolate and cheese. So very much looking forward to sampling that. I had it here in case we needed filler for tonight, but it will certainly keep for next week's show.
excellent.
There was a Ween album called Chocolate and Cheese. So Ween was very unusual for their time. And to come think of it, it's probably 30 years old now. That's if you remember Ween, they were a very unusual band. So,
Like Devo?
No, they were even weirder than Devo. They were very obscure and just to like my time period in college. But
yeah, that's pretty obvious from what you get when you search.
Yeah, that's their album cover. Yeah,
that's the album. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
WEAN or WEEN?
WEEN. They had a cameo in the movie Pat from what do you call it? Saturday Night Live. Remember Pat?
Yes.
So, yeah, they were there. There was a cameo. They're a very obscure band, but that when you said chocolate and cheese, that kind of brought back some memories from college. They were trying to get me to play them on my college radio show. It was very obscure.
Well, that is what's up next for our next cheese talk, and I have several examples of chocolate and cheese together. I have a chocolate cheese fudge that's also from Carr Valley, so that should prove to be interesting.
Also, dude is still trying to get himself going live, so just hang in there a few more seconds. And...
Option B is we could always send everybody over to Madness Comic Network. I think they're live.
Are
Is
they?
that not
Well,
us?
yes, they are. They are. You've got a show going right now too.
Anything more about
You
chocolate?
know,
And
if our guests want to watch Zozo or Comedy Network, they can always switch on their own too. We're just doing a courtesy favor. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah.
We aren't forcing you guys to do anything, just so you know.
I have a trivia question about cheese I can throw out there.
Go for it.
Right.
What section of the world historically didn't come up with cheese? Like historically, a lot of
Far
places.
East.
Okay, I was asking the chat.
Zoso Dude just went live.
Zoso Dude just went live. Yep.
See, we didn't
we're
have
good.
time to wait for an answer, Norm.
So let's get the hell out of here, guys.
All right, guys, let's all wave goodbye, and we'll see you next week. Same beer time, same beer channel. Good night, everybody.
All right, everybody head over to Zoso Dudes. And remember, tonight, Val Kimber, 12:15, brand new over on the YouTubes. Go over to Val Kimber on YouTube and catch the premiere.
And also, real quick, one more thing. Before you guys run out, click that red pill if you're on pill.net. Show us some love with the red pill so our algorithms can gyrate forward here. All right, Cosmic, go ahead. Norm, you were going to say something.
Subscribe to Val Kimber. How many subscribers does he have now over?
I think it might be up to 35 now. Might be.
Cool.
All right, Hawk, what do you got?
I was going to say, and always remember, Star Wars used to lead to pregnancy. Walk one out.
With that, good night, everyone, and we will see you here next week.
God bless everybody. Peace out.
Folks, time to call a night. Do what you feel and keep both feet on the wheel. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So till next time.
Move 'em on.
Hit 'em up.
Hit 'em up.
Move 'em on.
Move 'em on.
Hit 'em up.
Rawhide. Cut 'em out.
Ride 'em in.
Ride 'em in.
Cut 'em out.
Cut 'em out. Ride 'em in. Rawhide.
Let's get the hell out of here.